Hello, and welcome to the final mini-sode for this month's Found Footage Films for Fall. For this little podcast, My Streaming Bubble. It's the one where I usually talk about the streamable media that I love with the people I tolerate. I am your TV watching and talking host, Jen, and like I said, today is the final episode for Found Footage Films for Fall, the very first theme month for this podcast. I know I keep saying that, but it's kind of a big deal because it's like, what? I had forethought and some organization, and I say some because if you've listened to all the other found footage minisodes, the lineup that has been posted was not the original lineup. So things kind of got shifted around as I was working my way through some of my fave found footages. But it has helped in that it narrowed down the field of what I wanted to cover for this month. October, it's Halloween, it's creepy, spooky season and everything. And I wanted to kind of lean into that, right? Like, why the fuck not? Like I said, kind of helps me narrow down the field of what I wanted to talk about. So if you enjoyed this month's theme month, the very first one, drink every time I've said that. Don't do that. It would not be healthy. Let me know what you thought of, let me know what you thought of the theme month for this month. I've got a few other theme months jotted down to do kind of throughout the year, throughout upcoming recordings. I kind of want to do something for February for the covering rom-coms that I fell for. And that's only because rom-coms aren't my top genre at all, but there are a handful that I do love, for better or for worse. So I thought, why not just make a month of that, hammer a few of them out, and then be done with it for a minute. So we'll see about that. But I do already have a list of movies for that. So we shall see if I can keep up this organization into the new calendar year. But until then, we'll go ahead and, like I said, wrap up this month's Found Footage Films for Fall. And we're going to end with one that I just think is one of the funniest fucking found footages I've ever watched. I love it. It's a great kind of take on YouTubers and found footage. And I just love how this movie kind of lovingly pokes fun at both. And that is Deadstream. And last episode, I talked about some of the different kind of camera work, shaky cams, handheld cams versus stationed cams that have been posted in corners and whatnot for those paranormal type films. And this one, it's one of the things that cracks me up about it is how many fucking cameras this dude has. It is comical. If you don't think it is fucking hilarious, I can't help you. I'm so sorry. But before I get on about Deadstream, just a couple of honorable mentions. So with regards to the camera work, that's kind of the mini sub-theme, I guess, of this episode. But the movie Quarantine, which Jennifer Carpenter, who a lot of folks might know from the Dexter series. She played Deb, Dexter's adopted sister, plus they were married in real life. And then the end of the season got weird with those two. And it was that whole fucking last season of that show, of the original run, was just a fucking mess. I do not care for it. Said what I said. I stand by it. But I really like the movie Quarantine. Found footage. She's recording. She's kind of like a journalist or whatever. And she's in a firehouse, kind of documenting the life of the firefighters or whatever. And so it's all from one camera's point of view, just like her camera operator's camera that he's using. No stationary cams or anything like that. And while I still really liked it, I rewatched it a couple of weeks ago. I have to say that I cannot handle shaky camera work like that. It's very shaky, very kind of realistic in that sense, which is fine. Don't get me wrong. It's not something I'm just oh my God, I hate it. I just can't handle it anymore. I get very, very dizzy, a little on the nauseous side. I've just done too much damage to my equilibrium and I just get off kilter real easy in that sense. So rewatching it, there were a couple of times where I had to like kind of like close my eyes, and not because it got like scary or gross or anything, but because I'm like, oh my God, I might throw up if I don't do this. But it's still really good. So that's why I kind of wanted to throw this into the honorable mentions, because while I do really, really like it, and again, it's just the camera work. I can't handle it. So that is obviously a contrast to what Deadstream does here with the multiple cameras. And like I said in the last episode, with the ones done more documentary style, where there are multiple cameras up, I do like that for obvious reasons, because it doesn't make me so dizzy. Another honorable mention, but I haven't watched it in probably a good couple of years, so I've got to rewatch it, and then maybe I'll do like another episode covering this film, but Scare Package. I thought Scare Package was hilarious. It was a lot of fun, and it kind of combines, not kind of, but it combines the found footage with anthology horror. And I just fucking love anthology horror. And I might have to add that to like a theme month, maybe for next year or something. Because I just love, I don't know, it's so much fun to get all these kind of little stories in about an hour and a half-ish or so. And these little nuggets, these little bites of horror stories. I don't know, it's just a lot of fun. And I feel like sometimes these shorter stories, movies, what have you, for anthologies can sometimes be like really scary and really fucking creepy. And I really fucking love that. So again, that's kind of why I like, and I just like anthologies. Like, they're just kind of fun. You don't have to watch each and every one to understand the previous one or understand what's going to happen next necessarily. It's fine if it all kind of comes together and ties together in the end, but not in a way that makes you feel like, oh, I missed something. Obviously, Scare Package, the VHS franchise, which I've been kind of working my way through because I only saw the first 2 years ago. So I just finished Viral and I started 94 the other night. Viral was okay. 94, I didn't get that far into it before I zoned out into sleepy time. But like VHS definitely combines two of my favorite things about horror. Like I said, found footage and anthology horror. So might have to do something. And then, of course, Trick or Treat. I was super late to that fucking party, but that is like gotta be like my top favorite anthology horror movie in the last handful of years. I don't know when it came out. Don't tell me, because then it just proves how bad I am at math and perspective of time passing and all of that. But all right, that's it for that. We'll just go ahead and stop talking about all of that and get right into Deadstream. So consider this your official spoiler warning. Let's see, content warnings. We'll go ahead and do those real quick. I'm trying to think. Let's see. Well, Sean is kind of not the best person. And so at the end, he kind of admits to doing some of his pranks being like racially insensitive. So, a dash of your basic white boy racism. I don't know. I can't really think of anything else, but if I can, I will make sure to have it noted in the episode description. So if I missed anything, make sure you pause, take a look at that just to make sure. But I think that's it. All right. With the content warnings, let's go ahead and get to all the fun IMDb stuff. All right. So normally I read everything from IMDb, but for whatever reason, IMDb is not working for me. Oh, that rhymed. That's a sad rhyme. So from Wikipedia, or just kind of like the Google general overview, because I think our internet's being sketchy and fucking weird. Big surprise. So the synopsis is: a disgraced internet personality tries to win back his followers by live streaming himself at an abandoned haunted house. When he accidentally unleashes a vengeful spirit, his comeback event becomes a fight for his life. Let's see. This movie came out in 2022. I don't think I mentioned that. The directors are Joseph Winter and Vanessa Winter. Let's see. They also wrote the film as well. And let me pull up Wikipedia. Because like I said, fucking IMDb is not liking me today. Okay, so directed by Vanessa and Joseph Winter, written by Vanessa and Joseph Winter, and it stars Joseph Winter, Melanie Stone, and Marty Collins. So it looks like it is currently available on Netflix, which, you know, that's nice. Let's see if it's available anywhere else. All right, so like I said, Netflix, and it's free on Tubi. You can rent or buy on other streamers. It is available on like other streamers with subscriptions, so like AMC Plus. And you can check it out from your local library. For what? For free. Yay, free. We love free. Free is our favorite. And then let's see. Oh, my synopsis for this. Again, I don't really have one. That is a shame. I'm very sorry. I did not do a good job at coming up with my own synopses for these. I'll do better. Okay, so again, why did I pick this found footage film to cover for this month? Why wasn't it part of the original lineup? Well, because as much as I try to be organized and think and plan ahead, that doesn't always work. Sometimes I think of better, more entertaining things a little closer to after the fact. And since I had kind of like already finalized the list, this came in as an afterthought. So I'm like, well, I'm going to go ahead and replace it for one of the other ones because this movie I think is fucking hysterical. It has a pretty, from what I saw when IMDb was working, it had a pretty decent score, and I appreciates that, and I think it needs to have a slightly higher score. And it was like a high 6, a mid-high 6 or something, which for IMDb isn't too bad, honestly. I think I gave this like an 8 or 9 because it fucking cracks me up so goddamn much. But again, I love how it pokes fun at YouTubers and influencers, and especially the ones that have like been disgraced. They've done their bullshit apology videos, and now they're trying to do their comeback stream, their comeback video. Now that they've been, especially with Sean here, has been like remonetized and got his sponsors back and all of that bullshit. And then also how it pokes fun at found footage, again, with just the ridiculous number of cameras. And then, of course, because it's also poking fun at YouTubers, influencers, live streamers, I love how this movie incorporates the live streaming and Sean interacting with the viewers. It's just too goddamn funny. And again, it's like you've got Sean's cameras on him, which seems to be like at least 6. And then he's got all these GoPros that he's able to stash away, like not stash away, but adhere to the corners of the rooms and get all his footage that way. He's got his little tablet and a little bracelet thingy that he can like just with a flick of his wrist change camera views, which that's handy, but also seems like it would be annoying and not really super efficient doing live streams and stuff like that. Because like when you're running, like, are you not like, what kind of wrist flick gets it to change camera views and what kind of wrist flick doesn't? I don't need to know the answer to that. I just realized the question. All right. Got a little off topic there. But yes, Sean with his ridiculous number of cameras. I didn't even count how many fucking cameras he had. Easily like 9, I think, based on the tablet view of all his different cameras. And I think because it starts off with maybe like 6, and then I think he adds at least 3 more because you've got your jerky cam, your dead cam, stick cam. At least those 3, I believe, were added. as I said, so with this movie, it pokes fun at all of that stuff. And the other thing that I really like about it is it feels very like Evil Dead, Sam Raimi kind of vibes. And I am here for it. I love that. Like Mildred the ghost, the way she looks is kind of Sam Raimi, Evil Dead-esque. The way she jumps out and attacks him is very Evil Dead-esque. There's a point towards the end of the film where Sean is hiding in a closet and he's like got like a sheet or a blanket over him because, of course, when you're scared, like in Hell House, you got to throw a blanket. You got to hide under the covers because then they can't see you, right? But in Deadstream, with Sean sitting in the closet and covered with the sheet, he goes and like removes it from himself off of his lap, and Mildred's head is right there and starts just like chomping on his inner thigh. But that whole little bit, again, very Evil Dead-esque, very Evil Dead 2, I should say, specifically, and maybe a dash of Army of Darkness, just because those are definitely like the campier of like the original set, trilogy, whatever. So I am here for the Sam Raimi vibes. I feel like I don't know how intentional that was, if it was supposed to be a bit more of like an homage or anything, but I absolutely fucking loved it. I think that vibe fits so well with this film. Again, just with the kind of goofiness that goes on in this, the parodying and the satiring of it all. So I love how this movie starts. It starts off with very YouTube intro. It like, hey guys, and blah, blah, blah. And it feels like every other fucking YouTuber intro you've ever stumbled across, whether you meant to watch it or not. It's just something that pops up and it's like, oh my God, it's so in your face. There's a lot going on. It's just incredibly obnoxious. He's really obnoxious. And his whole like, and I'm monetized again, but that doesn't matter. But here's all my new merch. Classic YouTubers, right? Oh my God. And then, so he talks about all of that. He's done his apology. You can tell like, oh, he's not like, sorry. He did the apology because he more or less like, quote, had to, but wasn't like his heart wasn't in it. He was just worried about his followers and losing monetization and all of that. So he has decided that to help his image, his disgraced image or whatever, he's going to go do this live stream at a haunted house. Now, this also reminds me very much of all the YouTubers that do like those challenges, like haunted house challenges, 30-minute challenges, hour challenges or whatever. So I loved that with this movie, it had to be a haunted house. I will say though, when it comes to like the urban explorers of YouTube, when they happen to catch paranormal spooky shit on camera, I really dig those videos because I feel like obviously like they're just urban explorers, right? They're which is a fancy newfangled word for trespassers. Not hating, but let's fucking call it what it is. So these urban explorers, these professional trespassers, they go and explore all these abandoned locations, homes, buildings, businesses, hospitals, and whatnot, not specifically to catch paranormal activity. I actually don't really know what the point is of urban explorers other than just to like trespass for clicks. No hate. Whatever. You do you. I don't give a shit. But I don't know what the purpose is if it's not to catch spooky shit on camera. But when they do catch paranormal, weird shit, noises, and noises are one thing, right? Critters and whatnot, old dilapidated houses, shit befallen, all of that stuff. It's when they start catching shit that moves, shadows that are clearly unexplainable and clearly creepy as fuck. And then they get more or less chased out. Like the creepy vibes are too much and these professional trespassers fucking bolt. And then they're like, oh my God, check out my scary video. Check out the scary shit that I caught. I tend to kind of believe those more so than YouTubers or YouTube channels that focus primarily on paranormal activity and catching that shit on camera. As much as I love that shit, if that's their whole kind of brand or whatever, is more likely to like make shit up, embellish and whatnot. As long as I'm entertained, that's fine. I obviously would prefer like real shit, like really scary, creepy paranormal videos. And there's been a lot over the years on YouTube that I've fallen for that have since been debunked, and that's fine. Again, scared the shit out of me, and that's what I'm looking for. So very well done, very effective. But anyway, I digress. So Sean gets to the haunted house, and then the screen is black, and it's got the classic, you know, in this month of this year, this guy goes to this place and is never seen or heard from again. And then the footage was found a year later and blah, blah, blah. But then he pulls it back and it's just one of his new t-shirts, just a new piece of merch that you can get from his merch store. And I fucking love that so much. It is so funny and so corny and so fucking on the money for found footage and for YouTubers. Not all YouTubers, I understand that, all right? Don't fucking come at me for that shit. But let's be honest, there's a reason this movie exists. There's a reason why the people that love it fucking love it. And I'm here to tell you that it's because of its take on how it pokes fun at found footage and YouTubers. Anyway, so he goes and he gets all his shit set up in the creepy house, hangs up his cameras that have like the super sticky 3M. But just in case, he's got his like roll of duct tape that he duct tapes because, you know, duct tape fixes everything. If you can't duck it, fuck it. And I appreciate that. That is very, very realistic. That's very much rooted in realism, especially when he uses the duct tape to like seal his wounds, to bandage his wounds. I love it so much. This movie's so fucking silly and ridiculous. How can you not fucking love this movie? It is a giggle fest. I'm sorry, but it is. Everything from his screams from when he sees the spiders to being chased, everything is just comical. His interactions with his live stream commenters. One of them, I wrote down some of my favorite ones just kind of in the beginning part where he's interacting with the commenters. And one of them is, one of the commenters calls him like, "You're nuts." Just says like, "You're nuts." And his comment is, "Yeah, what about him?" Ha! And it's fucking us. Oh my God. It's like, I don't know if this movie's like hilarious, like 98% hilarious and like 2% cringe. I don't care, but it fucking works for me. One of the commenters that also said haunted houses are overdone, and Sean in kind of his whiny little voice is like, "How can they be overdone? I've never done one before." Like the whiniest fucking voice. And then this one just kills me. One of the comments asked, "Did they call you Crater Face in high school?" And his response was like, "No. Because in high school, it was still acne." Like, I don't know why that fucking line is so goddamn funny. But it is. I don't know. I don't know how much of a script there was and how much was just where he was allowed to kind of ad-lib, or if everything was just kind of very all written out, like everything was beautifully planned and written. Either way, entertaining as fuck. And then, of course, he has his own soundtrack on a fucking cassette, a mixtape of creepy music to go along with his creepy haunted house challenge or whatever. And, you know, I have to respect the amount of effort that he put into that, because in 2022, no one's making mixed tapes. You might build a playlist on Spotify, Apple, or whatever music streamer that you use, sure. But those of us that remember the time, the care, and the effort put into making a mixtape does not compare to just slapping some songs together on a playlist and then sharing it, because a mixtape took work and effort. You know, you had to queue up the song from either another cassette or DVD, or not DVD, or CD, which was a wee easier. But with cassettes, you know, you gotta like rewind, fast forward, get to the right spot, and just that much more effort. If you're building a mixtape off of other cassettes, then you gotta have however many fucking other cassette tapes to create that playlist. Kids today don't understand. Mixtapes were a labor of love and an act of love. Caring, like you meant a lot to a person if they fucking made you a mixtape. Like you meant time and effort. Does that make sense? Like you are important enough for someone to spend that much time and work on something. And hopefully when you got the mixtape, you loved it, you appreciate it. God, especially when like you'd make the mixtape and you'd make your own little like cover art, or you wrote out all like the songs on the inside cassette cover part, whatever that shit is called. I can't even remember. It's fine. It's been so long. So I appreciate, like I said, Sean, I appreciate the effort that you put into making your own little scary music mixtape. It's so cute. And of course, in this movie, he has to explain what an EVP is because, I mean, that's done in like every other fucking paranormal anything to exist. And I get it. If you're not well versed in the ways of paranormal investigating, psychic infestations, and whatnot, you might not know that EVP stands electronic voice phenomenon. See, I just did it. See what I did there? I did the thing. So, of course, anytime that's explained, because I'm an uber dork for this kind of shit, I'm just like, oh my God, I fucking know. Let's go. Let's move on. But not everybody knows that. And I have to keep that in mind that those explanations are not for me. And that's fine. And then, so he's there. He's doing all his creeping around and everything. He sees some scary shit. His screaming, his running, all just hysterical. Very kind of over the top. And just comical, and so he's doing all of this, and then all of a sudden, because nobody knows where he is at, he has not disclosed his location. And then all of a sudden, Chrissy, a super fan, has entered the game, and they're talking, and she's trying to convince him to do some shit or whatever. And one of his lines is like, "Are you fansplaining to me right now?" And some of these lines are so silly, but they're so fucking funny to me. Are you fansplaining? And I have to admit that in our house, we like to put damn near anything in front of splaining. Anytime like husband's talking to me, I have been accused of woman-splaining, which is fair. But, I'm just taking a page out of the man's book. And let me over-explain shit you did not ask for. So Chrissy stays. The viewers decided that she can stay. She's hot and whatever, and makes it more interesting. All the people are kind of talking shit about his live stream. And one of these days when I watch it, I want to just pay attention to some of the comments that come through because some of them are pretty fucking hilarious. I was not able to do that this time. I was sitting a little too far from the TV, and I'm very hard of seeing. So Chrissy's helping him out. He gives her a camera. Now it's a Chrissy cam. They go downstairs. They find like this old chest in the basement. And it's neat because the chest isn't nearly as dusty as anything else in that fucking house. Plus, when they open it, the clothes look pretty clean. And I guess that would kind of make sense since they were in the chest. But why is the chest not super dirty? It doesn't matter. That's not a hang up. It's just, that's kind of funny. It also looked like a really nice old chest, to be fair. So they're going through it. He finds Mildred's book of poems. He's got like the little bit of like the history of Mildred and the guy, like her father or husband or whoever the fuck built the house that shows up later as like the sheriff ghost or whatever. Either way. Oh my God, where the fuck was I going with that? Oh, they find her. Yeah. So they find her. He finds her book of poems and kind of flipping through it. And Chrissy's starting to get a little weird because of course, right? Because there's something just a little off about Chrissy. Like, how did she get there? How did she know where he was? She says like, oh, I pieced it together somehow with whatever context clues that he had left. But it turns out that she isn't just a super fan. Turns out Chrissy is really Mildred. Oh my God, the ghost of whatever this fucking house is. I don't remember. It doesn't matter. So she starts to terrorize Sean because, of course, why not? And at one point, like at a couple of points, like Mildred the ghost like sticks her ratty fucking rotted ghost finger like up his nose. And out of all of the orifices, I guess I appreciate the nose the most because it's funny but also gross. So it's got that lovely little mix that I can get behind. And then so all this shit is happening, you know, he's being haunted and hunted by Mildred. He slowly is kind of piecing everything together. And basically, like, there have been all these other deaths. The theory originally was like, oh, she's trying to like build a family. She never could have a family, this and that. And then he comes to the conclusion that that's not what she's doing and that she's building a following. And I just love how he relates Mildred's haunting to social media influencers. You know, she's not building a family. She's building a following. She just wants people to listen to her poetry, which is, it exists. And the way that he all kind of puts it all together and understands her in a way that like probably nobody else can, right? Because him as an influencer wanting to be monetized, maintain his followers, maintain his following, he gets it. And how is that not just one of the funniest fucking things ever? And the way when he comes to this conclusion, it's just this beautiful little aha moment for Sean. And it's like, good for you, you fucking douchebag. And the best line is once he figures it all out and everything. And he's like, let's go demonetize this bitch. Love it. Fucking hysterical. And then he goes in with a bit more confidence as to what he's facing and what he needs to do. So I jumped ahead a little bit, but these are kind of some of my high point moments, like the scenes that I love the most. But to back up just a wee bit before all of that. So, and even before Chrissy shows up, he finds like a symbol taped up inside the closet that he was hiding in later, where Mildred pops up in between his legs and bites him in the thigh. And he's just like, he's like, what the fuck is this? If anything happens to me, just know it was this thing's fault. And in a way it is, but it's mostly his fault because we find out that it's a Hamas. It's a symbol of protection. Someone from his live stream comments posts a video kind of explaining what it is and why it was there. And by him taking it down, he has unleashed Mildred onto the world. And then in another video that pops up, it's a little old lady. She is the Hamas lady. Hedy the Hamas lady, I think is what she's credited as. And she goes on to explain what it is, that she painted it, put it there, seal the ghost. And as long as it's there, he should be fine. And then her grandson or whoever off camera said that, oh, well, he tore it down. And the old lady's like, oh, shit, he's going to die. And so she continues to explain things. And Sean's like, I don't have fucking time for this. Like, talk faster, and then puts her on 2x speed. And she sounds like a chipmunk. And just kind of these little things of like, I'm watching this video and I need to know what all is said and what happens and everything, how this all plays out. But I don't have time to listen for another 3 minutes. So I'm going to put it on 2x speed because I feel like that's about our attention span these days. So again, all these little nods to social media, YouTube, even TikTok, you know, watching TikTok videos at an increased speed. I have done that plenty of times where I'm like, oh, okay, this video is like 10 minutes and I don't really have 10 minutes. So let's just pitter patter on through this. All right, so I digress. He gets all this information from viewers posting videos, kind of helping to explain what's going on. So he gets the explanation of the Hamas symbol, or the Hansa symbol, sorry. Not Hamas, holy shit. Fucking hell. I'm so sorry about that. My God. Read what you wrote, Jen, and read it good. Fucking hell. Anyway, so he gets the information on the on the symbol in the closet. And after that, and before Chrissy turns into Mildred, she has him say some chant, something in Latin. And he's like, I don't say words I don't know what they mean. And she gives him some bullshit like, oh, it just means like I free you from this place, blah, blah, blah. So she recites it. He repeats it. Turns out, shock, that's not actually what it meant. So another viewer pops in with a video explaining what the translation actually was. And basically, he has promised his soul to her. So when he puts it all together, that she's not building a family, she's collecting all these souls for a following, we definitely find out kind of through all of that there's more than just the thin man in the corner and Mildred. And we get little glimpses of some of these other really creepy fucking ghosts. I guess you can call them ghosts. They look a little more demonic than that, but they are other victims of Mildred, and their souls are now bound to her. And the more souls she collects, the stronger and more powerful she becomes. Because why not? So then he gets the translation for the Latin, and then he gets an explanation on what he can do to try and free himself from her haunted grip. And he's got to draw the Hamza symbol on the floor. He's got to recite a thing. There's also something about a blood sacrifice. So he tries all of that, and it doesn't work at first. And then he realizes, oh, he has to sacrifice. This is like after she sticks her finger up his nose again. Hilarious and disgusting. And so he realizes he must sacrifice his finger and to release himself from her. And so he does all of that. He says the little chant thing that he's supposed to say for this ritual. And one of the lines is that, he binds the souls to him. And so he thinks he's like free and all of this. And it turns out, big fucking shock, he's not. And the souls that are trapped there are now bound to him. So they come for him. And that's when the movie ends. And it's, what else did you expect to happen? So again, just really fucking entertaining. I'm not even touching on all of the shit that cracks me up. Like him talking shit about her poems as he's reading them. The shit talking about that other YouTuber, PewDiePie. I don't know who the fuck that is. I've heard of the name, and I've heard, and I'm probably getting them confused with other YouTubers that have done some not great things, but I don't know who PewDiePie is. And for some reason, I have this good feeling that they're also a douchebag. I could be wrong. If I'm wrong, let me know. If I'm absolutely correct, absolutely let me know. But he does all these little digs, all this shit talking, again, with the live stream comments. They're all pretty funny. The way he reacts to them are pretty entertaining. There's things involving, he's got like a pee bucket because of course, and then he gets waterboarded by the pee bucket, which is so fucking gross. And then he does this like really gross thing that I absolutely love. And one of the characters in Planet Terror kind of does something similar, but with Sean in Deadstream, the pee bucket's being dumped on him and everything, and he removes the cloth over his face, and it's like running down in his mouth. He keeps his mouth open. It's like, oh my God, it's so fucking gross. Luckily, it just looks like yellow Gatorade, so I can really not get too pulled into kind of that realism of that's a pee bucket. No, it's a bucket full of Gatorade. Please, I swear. Please don't be pee. That's super fucking gross. But in Planet Terror, when one of the zombies starts coming for the doctor and he can't quite reach him with the bone cutter or whatever because the cord isn't long enough, the zombie dude takes one of like the zombie pustules, pulls it off his face and smashes it into the doctor's face, and it's running down like his cheek and the side of his face. And then he does the nastiest thing ever and he sticks his tongue out and he licks it. Why would you do that? That is so fucking gross. It gets me every time. Everything out of anything in that movie. That is the most disgusting and most hysterical part. There's also a lot of other really funny parts, but that one gets me every fucking time. Because like, ew, why? Nervous laugh. Anyway, I digress. Sorry. And then I have to mention his like Sean's actual apology that he does during the live stream towards the end of the film, because he's realizing people are calling him out in the live chat for being a piece of shit, for putting somebody in the hospital, his prank's going too far, some calling him racist. And he does this like actual apology towards the end because, you know, he's fearing for his life and yada, yada, yada. So he talks about the prank that got him canceled or whatever. And I guess that was finding an unhoused person and fighting them. And he was like, I really didn't think, he's like, I thought he was bigger than I was. I didn't think I could actually beat anybody up. And apparently he beats this unhoused individual and puts them into the hospital. So he apologizes for that. And then he apologizes for some of the other pranks that he has done that may have been like racially insensitive. So apparently during his apology, he mentions a smuggling stunt where he smuggled into the country or something, jumps out of a trunk, whatever. And he admits that he says it wasn't funny. Well, actually, it was funny, but for the wrong reasons. And I feel like that is a very, very important line in this movie, and it should be a very important line in real life. And more people need to acknowledge when something is funny for the wrong reasons, whether it's the joke they made, the prank that they've pulled, or if it's a person laughing at these things. What are the reasons why you're laughing at? What is funny about this, right? Is it just the act of it? Are you making fun of a specific group of people? What is it? Explain the funny. Explain it to me like I'm 3, right? And I probably like the only moment of sincerity from this character in this whole movie was apologizing because it was funny for the wrong reasons. So he admits that, yes, he did the apology for the unhoused individual, but his apology didn't include thinking of it in the first place. And I think that's also a big part. Like, I think this actual apology needs to be kind of like a bigger deal, a bigger moment in this movie than maybe it initially comes across as. But I think there's just a lot in this short little moment, in this quick little apology, that for this character does feel somewhat sincere, if not still a little incorrect, not right. But for him to admit that this is more or less an actual apology versus the apology he gave before, like that just kind of shows the insincerity of some of the influencers' apology videos when they get caught doing something cancelable. And then how they're not sorry necessarily for what they did or for thinking of whatever insensitive thing that they are apologizing for. But like Sean here, he acknowledges that he didn't apologize for actually thinking of it in the first place and also carrying it out. I think that needs to be more present in today when people are doing their apology videos. Like, first of all, don't do shit that's going to require a fucking apology video. Think things through a little bit. Do you not have other people in your world you can bounce off these ideas? Do you have anybody in your world to just fucking tell you no every once in a while? Ryan Murphy. Because that would be incredibly helpful for everybody, right? Ryan Murphy. So I have to laugh because, okay. So he wraps up his actual apology, his more sincere apology, by dedicating the live stream to, and I quote, the Blacks and the Mexicans. Oh my fucking God. You are so close, Sean. And I'm laughing at that for the right reasons, because this character, he was so close to giving a sincere apology and then just poo-poos all over it because, again, doesn't think things through, doesn't think his words through. Word choices matter. He thinks he's doing something noble or whatever by dedicating the live stream to marginalized groups, to minority groups. But the phrasing, right? Phrasing matters. So when he says that, I'm just like, oh my God, so close yet so far away. And I think that says a lot too about, perhaps a lot about like white privilege. Like, here's this white boy apologizing for things. And even if he is sincere in his dedication, the fact that he doesn't take a half second to phrase it better just goes to show, kind of proves that, like, no matter what the apology is, there's always going to be, I don't know, it's like almost always going to be something where there's still a dig, whether intentional or unintentional, subconscious or consciously. And like, they just can't help themselves. Perhaps that's a little on the harsh side, but that's kind of my general takeaway from that moment is I love it. And it's, I think, an awesome moment in the film. I think it's a moment that could be reflected more so in reality. But then with his dedication, it's kind of that harsh reminder that it's kind of like a couple steps forward, several steps back type thing. Does that make sense? Does that make my ramblings seem a little bit more coherent? I hope so. Listen to me talk shit about this fake YouTuber and some other YouTubers while I always struggle with words and word choices. I like to think that I take the time to think about how I need to phrase something if it seems like it's a little bit more of like a sensitive topic. Because again, word choices matter, but they don't matter 100% to white people. Not sorry. God, and I could sit here and just ramble on about all the different little funny bits as I kind of continue to do so. Another one that I guess I'll bring up real quick is the Chrissy/Mildred. Basically, Mildred at this point has got Sean by the head and is like banging his head against the floor. And in her little like demon ghost voice, she's all like, "Smash that like button, Sean." Again, hilarious. I don't know what the criticisms are of this film. I'm not saying they don't exist or that they aren't warranted, but not knowing what they are and just loving just the silliness of this movie, I don't know that I would understand. I would respect it, but not saying I would understand it, because to each their own and all of that good stuff. All right. We'll just kind of leave it at that. This was, like I said, this was a last minute addition. I had something else planned that I had notes on and everything, but was like, you know what? This movie is too fucking funny. And why not end found footage films for fall on a funny note? So that's what I did. And like I said, I know there's a billion things that I missed, again, with all the different cameras, beef jerky cam. I mean, come on, the potato gun and the bobblehead, actually being able to like kick a ghost in the nards and have it like affect them, shooting a ghost with the potato gun / bobblehead and having it kill them doesn't really make a whole hell of a lot of sense. And I don't care. This movie is just a fun little romp through found footage and YouTube live streams. And I love it so much. But since that's going to be about it for me today, we'll go ahead and start wrapping this all up. And again, I just want to thank everyone for joining me this month for the first ever theme month for this podcast. If you have any other theme ideas, please let me know. You can drop it in the comments. You can send an email to mystreamingbubble@gmail.com. You can hit me up on the socials, Facebook, Instagram, Threads, Blue Sky, and or TikTok. I'm also on the YouTube, ironically enough. It's just audio, though. It's just the audio uploaded to the YouTube channel. So it's just another way to get the podcast out there. I'm just chuckling at myself. I'm so funny. We talk shit about YouTubers and then promote my YouTube channel. Kind of like Sean and his I don't care about being monetized, but here's ways to monetize me, to pay me, buy my shit. Speaking of buying shit, you can buy shit of mine from the Redbubble store. Are podcasters any better than the YouTubers? Yes, we are. So make sure you smash that follow and like button. And subscribe. I can't even fucking do this seriously. I am such a joke. But make sure you are following the podcast on the socials that you prefer and on the podcast player of your choice. And then make sure you do all of those things for the monthly podcast that I co-host with Aaron from It's a Fandom Thing called Twin It to Win It. And that's where we test our twinningness by guessing how the other feels about different horror movies. So every month we kind of trade off. We each pick one that the other one hasn't seen, or we just don't know how the other one feels, and then we try to guess. And it is a lot of fun. That is such a fun podcast to record with Erin. She's got 2 other podcasts, and we always talk about how much fun it is to record the Twin It to Win It episodes. It requires the least amount of work and preparation. And it's just for funsies. If anything else, it's a podcast for us. But you guys should listen to it as well because we have a lot of fun. Maybe too much fun. That's not a thing. So anyway, until next time, Bubblies, thank you so much for listening to this episode. Please make sure you go back and check out any past episodes of either this theme month or just any other episodes. Take a look. There's over 200 plus episodes to choose from and a lot of stuff out there to keep you busy during your workday and work week. So until next time, Bubblies, again, thank you so much for listening and keep streaming. Goodbye. If you're enjoying this podcast, be sure to let me know by rating and reviewing on a podcast player near you and by sharing your favorite episodes with your friends, family, and mail carrier. Then be sure to follow me on all your favorite socials like Facebook, Instagram, Threads, and Blue Sky. Just search My Streaming Bubble and I should pop on up there for ya. If you have suggestions on what I should stream in my bubble next or you want to be tolerated, send an email to mystreamingbubble@gmail.com. Looking for merch? Stop by my Redbubble store where you can find and buy My Streaming Bubble stickers, hats, shirts, and more. You can also head over to buymeacoffee.com and, buy me a coffee. Need more podcast me in your life? Then be sure to check out my other podcast, Twin It to Win It. That's a monthly podcast that I co-host with my podcast brain twin, Aaron from It's a Fandom Thing, where we test our twinningness by trying to guess if we both feel the same way about different horror movies. You can find and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Threads, and Blue Sky. And most importantly, you can listen, rate, review, and share from most podcast players. Thank you for your support and keep streaming. Goodbye.